All right, as promised, we're now going to be working on the drawer handles of our dresser. So first thing I need to do is make sure I'm able to edit my group. So I went ahead and double clicked. As you can see, everything else kind of phased out to that green color, and I've got the dotted lines around the dresser. That means it's open for editing. Next thing I need to do is I'm going to grab the circle tool, and I'm going to actually start drawing the drawer handles. I want the drawer handle to be exactly in the center of the drawer. So I want to make sure that I am at the midpoint of the group, which is what this point is right here. They will be blue on every single dresser drawer. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and find that midpoint on the first one. I'm going to kind of drag it over slowly. I have a dotted line. I'm going to go ahead and click where I think it looks good, and I'm going to actually draw myself a small circle. So there is my drawer pull. I'm actually going to pull this drawer pull out of the dresser drawer now. So I'm going to use the push-pull tool, and I'm going to pull this out just a little bit. All right, so let's see. That's perfect. Okay. Next thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make this into its own separate component, and there is a reason for that that I will talk about right now. If I make this piece a component, what I can do is I can duplicate it very easily, but I can also edit all of them at the same time, just like we did with the windows. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, make component. I'm going to name this dresser or drawer pull. I want this to glue to none. Place section with components. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit create. So now I have my drawer pull as a component. Now, what I can do is I can copy this in one of two ways. Number one, I can use the move tool and hold down control and drag it down like we've been doing previously. But there is actually another way to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate move. I'm going to hold down control and I'm going to click on my drawer pull. Now I can either pull it down this way, or something else I can do is I can use the move tool, hold down control, and I'm going to click an endpoint. So I'm going to go ahead and click this first endpoint on the first drawer. I'm going to click it once, and then I can actually physically pull it down to the exact same spot. So instead of clicking on the drawer pull, I'm actually clicking on the points underneath. So I'm going to do that same thing, endpoint, endpoint, click, endpoint, endpoint, and there we go. So that's one way of copying those down. The other way is just simply using the move tool and pulling them down. Now if you pull them down straight, you'll get that dotted black line like I'm showing you right here. So you can do it either way. That's entirely up to you. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy over all of these drawer pulls to the other side. So I want to make sure I have them all selected. So I'm going to go ahead and hold down control, or shift, sorry, not control. Make sure I have all of them copied. Now I'm going to select the move tool again, hold control, and I can drag them directly straight across, and I can drop them where it looks good. All right, so I've got drawer pulls done. Now something cool with components, like I've mentioned before, we can edit these all at the same time. So I'm just going to pick the first one I made just because it's habit, but it's not a bad habit to have. Always go with the first one just to make sure you're doing this properly. And I'm actually going to draw another circle on top of this one. So I'm going to go ahead and double click in order to make sure that I am selecting this drawer pull to edit. I'm going to orbit a little bit so I can see a little bit better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use offset to draw a circle within the drawer pull, and I'm actually going to pull it out further than the drawer pull that's there now. So just like that. All right, and as you can see, it copied over to all the rest of them. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I want to pull out this outer circle. So I'm using my push-pull tool again, and I'm going to pull this out just a tad, and it does that all on the others. Now I'm going to paint this ring a new color, so I guess let's do something contrasting. All right, and then I'll do this purple on the inside like I had for the other side. All right, so now that that's painted, again, you can see all of them did the same thing. So that's it for the drawer pull. And next thing I'm going to show you is actually how to move the dresser. So we can spin it around easily.